How are you?
I'm good.
How many months are you?
6.
Ooh, cool.
Yeah, I thought I was 5, but I'm actually 6.
That's nice.
Let me turn off this heat before I blow the fuse. Come on, here. Okay.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good. Alright, so we're going to read this together line by line. So, as we got through yesterday, your major symptoms, case history, cancer, and issues with the thyroid.
Okay.
So our experience in a wide variety. Okay. Was there anything else that you thought of that you want addressed that isn't currently on the list? Okay. All right. So when you're experiencing any of the symptoms related to the 2 issues, how does it affect you in your day-to-day life?
It doesn't.
Doesn't. Okay. So
It may affect me if I'm looking in the mirror and I'm going, why is that bag there? I don't like bags under my eye.
So you haven't had any negative effects
From the
that
cancer.
have interrupted how you conduct your life from experiencing cancer or the thyroid issue. Okay. So why are you here?
To get a maintenance plan for my cancer and moving forward with my immune system. I need help with the immune system.
Okay, okay. So if I'm understanding correctly, moving forward from the diagnosis of cancer.
And thyroid.
And thyroid.
Which I think one affects the other, so that's the reason. If I could, as a result of thyroid, I believe that the cancer, because the immune system is not fighting, and the cancer happens.
Okay. How important is it for you to improve the circumstances related to the cancer and the thyroid issues?
It's very important.
Okay.
If not, I'll die.
Okay. Well, if it's important to you and you're willing to make some changes, then there's every hope that it can be improved. So now we're going to go over the report. Ready? Okay, so our experience in a wide variety of cases tells us the first thing that must be determined is whether or not you are a nutrition response testing case. If someone is not a nutrition response testing case, then it's unlikely that nutrition response testing will ever help you. However, if you are a nutrition response testing case, then in our experience, it's my belief that nothing will help you as much. What does that first paragraph mean to you?
That means if someone's willing to make changes in their diets or their diet and lifestyle, if they're willing to make changes, if they're a candidate, are you willing to make the changes necessary to improve your health?
Right, yeah. Okay, so based on the review of our complaints history and of your complaints history and nutrition response testing clinical findings, we feel that you're a good candidate for nutrition response testing and that you are a nutrition response testing case. Understand so far?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So, our history of results in cases similar to yours is excellent, providing only that the client does 2 things. 1, follows through in your decisions regarding your food and supplement choices, as well as anything else you decided to do to improve your life. For example, you bring in the 7-day food diary for each visit, filled out as you eat. You work on the diet corrections you've determined to make, You keep your appointments and take the nutrition you discovered you needed.
Do you see that there? Do you see? Is that on mine as well? Do you see?
No.
Oh, you just.
Yeah, those are extra notes that go in between this.
Oh, so we just came up with this one.
For example, like I'm explaining what this means.
Okay.
Because what does it mean?
No, I heard that. I just was wondering if I missed,
Yeah,
if you missed a paragraph.
No, you're the first person to ask that. No.
Because I'm a teacher.
Right, okay.
So I know.
Yeah, we're just explaining
No, that's
what
good.
those things are. Because getting the agreement with the food diary, because a lot of people they'll start to feel better and then they just stop doing the food diary.
When I was in Mexico, they started to feel better and they would go out eat tacos.
Exactly.
And all. I was like,
Exactly.
are you kidding me?
Because they don't get that connection between how you feel and what you're eating. What is the food doing in your body that you're eating?
This is a treatment.
How has what you're eating contributed to the cancer in your body? So that's why we have that little addendum there so that we can explain it. Okay, and then number 2, stays with the program long enough to achieve maximum correction of the underlying causes of the stress that you found in your body. For example, you might not have any results or very little results within the first 12 visits of the program. Don't expect results that are not possible. Most health challenges will need 6 months before results can be seen, and then after the first 12 visits, you'll have a better idea of what it will take to achieve and maintain optimal health and quality of life. Can you stick it out so that you get to the other side?
Oh, yes.
Okay, then there's hope. So now we're going to go over what these active reflex areas are and what nutrition you tested for to reconcile them.
Okay.
So ANSB means autonomic nervous system blocked. And we'll go over the chart that was printed from the test in a little while. But
Okay.
blocked means these are the things that are keeping you from healing, keeping you from being in a real positive parasympathetic place. One is a virus, and it's a virus that I have to measure as it's being eliminated from the tissue. So that's the first 3 supplements. And then the next 2 after that are to help clear the metals. And the 2 metals that I found were chromium and lead.
Chromium.
I'm sorry, what?
Chromium and lead.
Chromium and lead. So that's really, this is the main thing that we're going to be detoxing, the virus and the metals. Now I need to just say off the top, with lead, that is not a quick detox. You want to go very slowly with lead because it should not be found in human physiology at all because it deadens tissue. And so we're going to be monitoring lots of different aspects as you're going through the detox. But I cleared it from myself on a couple of occasions. And
why on a couple?
Because you can get re-exposed to it. Lucky humans. There's some things that you clear that they're gone for good. But the thing about metals, they can be ubiquitous in the environment, and depending on where you're at, what you're doing, you can get re-exposed to them and have toxic. Or you can have areas that have been deep in the tissue, and then they just come up to the surface when the body is ready to clear them.
Okay.
So those are the 2 things that impact metals, particularly lead, because the body can really, particularly women who have fibroids, 9 times out of 10, those fibroids, you cut them open, there's metal. 9 times out of 10. Okay, so that was number 1, ANS block. So that's the main thing, because without handling those things, you're just not going to get into a real positive healing expression. The breast we found, and the reason why we found this in the breast is because you've got the metal in the tissue. We found a fungal issue. Yeah, even though the breasts were removed, there's still the fungal issue there in the tissue that is left. And fungal issues, and this is another one of those caveats, will always precede cancerous cells.
What does it mean, precede cancer cells?
Precede? Prior to the cell de-differentiating into a cancer cell, which is an unpaired electron that is now, it's called a crazy cell. It's now replicating at a faster rate than the body can handle it. The body will draw on fungal organisms, which are proliferators, to kind of buffer and dampen down that process. But the fungal organisms themselves are pathogenic, negative pathogens. They're damaging to tissue. And so you've got to clear that, and when you clear that underneath, there's the cancer. So then you have to clear that as well.
So you're saying that the cancer is still there?
No, I'm not saying that. I don't have any way of determining that.
But the fungus. So the fungus is what replicates and creates that bad cell. Is that right? Is that what I understood?
You'll see fungus prior to seeing cancer.
Okay.
That's a better way to put it. Always. Always.
Sorry, just the way you did that. Always. Okay. Always.
Yeah, I don't mean to be funny, but I'm thinking of cases, in my head, and
right.
Yeah, so that's why, and the body always maintains a very delicate balance of opening the drainage channel to eliminate these organisms. It's when it becomes a little too toxic, the load becomes too much for the body, and then the body begins to break down. That's when you're starting to see errant cell expression.
Errant cell expression mean that it starts to
de-differentiate.
Okay.
Into cancer cells. Because there's a process. Cancer doesn't just happen. There's a process until it gets to that. It can happen over years or months, depending on what the assault is. Like I said, for you...
And the assault for me was cuts.
Well, I'm saying for you, you have the lead and you have the virus. So that the body's already handling those two issues. And underneath that, you probably had fungus for a long time.
Yeah, I'm sure I did.
And then because of the other things, it was like...
It was being assaulted.
It was a perfect storm for the cell.
Everything that was happening, whether it be... Would that happen to be the stress?
Stress is an
the
exacerbator.
Food, the lack of sleep, properly, all those elements that...
All those things come together. It's like right now while I'm feeling really happy, I didn't drive. I live an hour and a half away. And I said, no, I'm taking care of myself. Last night I stayed here in Bayonne at my mother's, and I slept really long. I slept late this morning, and I'm feeling better.
Good.
Because you can go, and I just...
Well, I live an hour and a half away.
Okay.
And I said, I am not driving, I'm getting on the train.
Good.
And I rest, I read, I relaxed,
Exactly.
I had my little lunch.
Good. Exactly.
I don't need the extra stress of trying to figure out, no.
And these are the little, the decisions that you make, for your own health and well-being. So you're speaking to the choir here. And now the thyroid, we didn't have to do, there's nothing immunologic going on with that thyroid. It's just general nutritional support.
Right.
And the nutritional support that you're testing for the thyroid, one is a mineral balance that are the minerals that they are the brakes of the nervous system. So you get enough of these minerals, you'll feel really relaxed.
Okay.
And a protomorphogen. And protomorphogen is a type of supplement that is unique. You can just write PMG.
PMG.
So you'll see it right next to the thyroid. It says Thytrophin PMG,
so you can
circle that.
Okay.
And I'll give you a handout on what it is and what it means. What protomorphogens are, and they're unique to the standard process line, and I think it's just genius what they do, because they do two things. I was looking to see if you were testing for breast protomorphogen, but you're not. They deflect away from specific targeted cells any type of attack. So it helps to preserve the cell in structural integrity. And then they also support structural integrity for proper cellular mitosis. So if you've got cells that are dividing, the process of mitosis, cell division, that are dividing with errant expression, this stops that and makes two nice, healthy, perfect cells. and it's unique to standard process, and I just think it's genius.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're going to be doing for the thyroid, and that's your whole program. That's where we'll start.
Okay.
Okay? So now, moving on from there, so next, bottom of that page. So analysis of the Health Express. So that's this. That's the, we call it the heart rate variability. So I'm going to go over this.
Okay.
Beautiful heart expression. Beautiful.
The music is like, this is not a normal doctor. So to hear you talk like this and with the music, it feels like I'm in a fairyland.
Oh, that's from Jerusalem. I got that in the city of David.
Oh,
I
that's
walked
beautiful.
into the city and I went, I love this music.
I know.
And I got it.
That's
yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so here's the thing. There's no differentiation between when you were in the supine and when you were in the upright. And that has to do with, because you have that block regulation, which we're going to be fixing. But this is, your money in the bank. You actually have a high rate of functionality with regard to all of the systems in your body. They're just being a little suppressed, and that's the immunologic adaptive reserve because of the heavy metal, the viral challenge, the fungus, and then the fungus causing the cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those things together have suppressed your adaptability, but you have a lot of function. So that's
a lot of function.
Yeah.
And a lot of function meaning the movement.
Function meaning how the cells of a certain organ should be working.
Oh. So they're working really well.
Yeah, yeah. Because each one of these numbers corresponds to a system in the body, like your hepatic system, your digestive system, your structural system, your eliminative system, your reproductive system. So in terms of those systems, you have a lot of functionality. And we are a functional nutritional practice. So this is one thing that I monitor. How well does this move over? How well do we bring that functional capacity up? How are we increasing function? But we're also looking at immunologic adaptability. So here's the way to think about that. Because you've got your regular 24/7 B lymphocytes, T lymphocytes, your white blood cells. Then you've got your natural killer cells. Your natural killer cells will penetrate, like the B, the T lymphocytes. You're just going through the blood 24/7, like green lights, red lights, just up and down the streets. Whereas the natural killer cell will penetrate the cell wall to get to the pathogen, cause that macrophage activity to digest it, and then pull it out through the proper eliminative channel. And different pathogens have different channels. Those are things that we're also looking at. So when I'm talking drainage, I'm talking, is that channel open for your body to eliminate this specific type of waste? Okay?
Okay.
So
is it open?
We're going to be opening a couple.
Oh, okay.
Because you've got a couple that are not open right now. So this is really good news for me. And that yellow diamond is you. So what you'll see primarily for you is this going up.
Okay.
So here's this. And here is the brochure. And I was trained actually by the guy that created it, Dr. Alexander Riftin, who had 25 years to develop this technology, which I think is just genius. He had an unlimited budget with the Russian Olympic team. He was in Russia. It's a Russian scientist. And he had a dream to quantify the analysis of the autonomic nervous system, which hadn't been done before. So this is a type of test that's often used in hospitals and in cardiologists' office, but we're looking at it from a functional standpoint. So I'm not looking at the things that they're looking at. I'm just looking at function and where is the nutritional stress. Is it primarily parasympathetic, body's ability to heal, body's ability to sleep, body's ability to digest food? Or is it sympathetic, that upregulation, that get up and go, that fight or flight mechanism, that ability to endure stamina-wise, okay? Because when you balance those two parts of the nervous system, you're balanced. You're feeling good. You know, you upregulate when you should, you downregulate when you should.
When you were testing me yesterday, you were saying, is it food or is it, you said food or something else? Would that be what you're also talking about? In terms of,
Yes.
it wasn't food, it was,
Food did not come up.
okay, it
Yes,
was,
you have those three things that I talked about primarily.
right.
Yeah, because
Those three things were, again,
virus,
okay,
the heavy metal lead,
metal lead,
and here's the thing with lead. We're going to identify what organs has it suppressed, at what concentration is it still in the tissue, so that we can measure where we're starting from and where we're going in terms of how much is eliminating. Because if I see that it's not moving, because I've had cases where they're on a program, but it's not moving week after week after week. So then I have to assume that a eliminative channel is blocked specifically to clear that pathway from the body. So then I have to up the support to clear that. Then they come back next week and it's moved and, well, I'm feeling a lot better. Bet you are. You know what I mean? Because the thing about heavy metals, and particularly lead, it is the heaviest of the heavy metals. So you would have a problem with eating meat. You would have a problem with certain things that require a lot of energy from the body. You would have a problem with eating certain types of foods that pull from the digestive capacity because you're already weighted down with the lead. You literally feel like you're dragging with lead.
really?
Yeah, I mean, and I can go on and on and on about all the different things that can happen, but everyone is individually biochemically unique, and so what may affect one person may not affect you. You know, some people have dropped foot with lead. You'll see that with lead affecting.
What do you mean drop foot?
Where
Okay. Okay.
multiple sclerosis. We'll see that often. But we can clear it, and then, my feet are not, you know, and you'll have doctors who'll say that, that can't be reversed. You better get some orthotics and, you know, learn how to walk differently. You know, I beg to differ with them because I've seen it. I've seen it healed and reversed, and it's really very exciting for the person because we generally and daily make the impossible possible because we're looking at something entirely different than what they're looking at. We're looking at what is preventing the cell from functioning, not naming a disease. I could care less about the name of the disease. I'm looking at its effects, what is causing its effect, and where in the body, and how can I identify it with accuracy, and how can I open it, because the body is a self-regulating organism. You're designed to heal, period. So
Yes.
so let's move on. Okay, so I explained the heart rate variability. So those readings indicate conditions that may be the result of nutritional deficiencies, imbalances affecting not only your cardiovascular and muscular systems, but your overall physiologic balance, an important factor in building and restoring good health. So as part of your program, we'll be monitoring this aspect with additional graphs periodically, and you're going to have a lot more graphs because, like I said, you're starting off blocked to help us maximize your program. Let me take this opportunity to let you know that I'm going to work with you on this and that you'll be able to do the program. All that's needed from you is a good commitment to do the program. Are you willing to do your best?
Yes.
Okay. So, step one, fine-tuning. So once you start on your initial supplement program, it generally takes 3 to 6 visits or separate office calls to completely fine-tune your basic personal nutritional program. These visits are normally completed in weekly intervals until no new active reflexes are found. During this time, we'll also be reviewing your diet and offering you guidance with regard to any essential improvements in order to maximize your gain. Is there any reason you can't be in the office weekly until we get through this first fine-tuning phase?
No.
So you could be in the office.
I could be in the office,
Okay.
and I'm going through. I'm just saying what maybe I shouldn't even say it, but I'm thinking.
It's okay.
You know, the doctor was talking to me about possible chemotherapy, and like I shared with you yesterday.
You have not done any chemotherapy thus far?
No.
But you just had the removal?
I just had it removed
Okay.
November 2nd.
Okay.
So I had some time. They said they give you about 8 to 6 weeks, something like 6 weeks, somewhere 4 to 6 weeks.
And I'm
they
not
wanna
even
stop.
going to try to influence that decision for you, because that's one you're going to have to take up with your God.
Hmm. And I have not done it
I've
because
helped people clear things without chemotherapy.
Right.
I had a 74-year-old woman with pancreatic cancer. She cried the first 3 visits because she couldn't even handle it. But then when we cleared it, she went back to her doctor. He's never seen anything like it. But then I found the real problem affecting another organ, and it was affecting the pancreas. And then when I identified it, she jumps up from the table. She goes, "I gotta go to my car." She runs to her car. She grabs this paper, brings it back in. She got a diagnosis 3 years ago. She didn't know what it meant. They found something in that liver and just ignored it until it became cancer of the pancreas. But the pancreatic cancer was an offshoot of something really detrimental that was happening in another organ that was being suppressed by this therapy that she was having. She was having steroids once a month for years. That's why nobody found it, because you couldn't find it. So it was really fascinating working with her.
you couldn't find it because of all the steroids?
Steroids. Yeah.
What did the steroids do?
Well, they damage tissue, but it's like putting something frozen in isolation. Damage is still there,
Frozen
but
isolation.
you're just not feeling it and you're not seeing it. But the body is, well, I'm just going to move on over to this organ and kill it. I mean, it was interesting. I don't mean to make light of it, but
No.
And then we eventually fixed that, and she's on maintenance, and she's doing great.
Right, great. Good to hear that.
Okay, so if you're currently taking any vitamins, minerals, or other nutritional supplements on a regular basis, this includes medications. Please continue to do so. During this initial fine-tuning period, we'll be evaluating these other supplements in relation to your current condition to help you determine which ones are helping or which ones are hindering you in your quest for better health. Are we still okay? So during this initial fine-tuning and our healing and observation phase of your program, we'll be offering periodic educational workshops to share additional knowledge with you. And it's so funny because you just missed 3 of the best workshops that I've ever done. They're all on food, and they're all on food and cancer. One was what happened to our food. That was back in October. November was vaccines. And then just last week, GMOs. GMOs, genetically modified organisms.
That sounds good. That's okay. I've been doing do a lot of research.
Yeah. And it's not only the GMO, it's that they have genetically modified an organism that has already been sprayed and already been exposed to an herbicide. So it really becomes a real toxic food.
So the beans are included in that?
Not all beans are. You'll rarely find beans that are GMOs, but beans can be sprayed and beans can be treated with herbicides.
Okay.
Depends on where they're stored. It depends on if they're organic, if they're, if the care has been taken. Are they sprouted? There are lots of considerations. That's why you really got to look at food sourcing.
Food sourcing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not going to go into that, but basically that's where you bring your family, you bring your friends, you share with them what you're doing so that they know and so that everybody in the family is on board with what you're doing.
Yes.
So that you don't have any suppressors in the bunch who are not really supporting you on how you're getting well. We have found that it's essential that the entire family know exactly what you're doing and what we do for best results. And if someone in your family doesn't understand, these workshops are essential for them for best results. Step 2, healing and observation. So after your initial fine-tuning period is complete, meaning that your nutritional program is stabilized, you'll be ready to start on your next step, the healing and observation period. You're doing the healing and we're doing the observation. This part of your healing cycle normally does not require continuing weekly visits. Indeed, most people find that optimum progress can be obtained by having a regular schedule of checkups every other week during this time. During this phase, we'll be doing 2 things: monitoring all reflexes to ensure that your body is responding appropriately to your program. This will allow us to adjust your program as may be needed as you move through this period of time to ensure maximum potential gain for you. This may or may not include changes in doses and or adding or deleting any particular supplement or recommendation when and if the need arises based on what shows up during this healing and observation period. Occasionally during this period, additional layers may show up and further recommendations may be made, which might include additional procedures, which can be done in our office, such as cold laser technique, allergy clearing, and or appropriate referrals to other allied health professionals. At the end of your 12 visits, we will reevaluate your progress in order to determine your actual rate of recovery and what additional recommendations might be needed in order for you to obtain and or maintain maximum health improvement. This will include a new symptom survey, Health Express, and or other tests or measurements as needed to make our evaluation. For example, if you were to experience an improvement of 25% in your first 12 visits, at that rate, we would anticipate that you might need an additional 36 visits to obtain maximum health improvement. In this case, we would recommend another 12-visit healing and observation period, followed by a reevaluation to determine your additional progress at that time. If you were to experience improvement of 50% during your first 12 visits, then 12 more visits may be needed for you to obtain maximum health improvement at that rate. If you were to experience an improvement of 75%, it might be possible for you to obtain maximum health improvement in just 4 more visits. Hi, sweetheart. You know what I'm going to have? I'm going to have Judy come back and finish, and you'll man the front desk.
Okay.
And then you can have Brenda. Yeah, have her come into room 2.
Yes.
So improvement of 75%, it might be possible for you to obtain maximum health improvement in just 4 more visits on the program before you're ready for maintenance. Okay, so I'm going to have Judy pick up from here and she's going to continue on. So here, okay. Okay, and she'll be able to answer any questions. Okay. And then you can let me know what you decide afterwards.
Okay.
But I think I covered all of the, the clinical stuff. Be careful.
Yes.
Okay. All right, sweetheart. Brenda?
Yeah.
Room 2.
We're going to step 3. Once you have achieved more optimal health level, naturally you will want to stay well. That can be handled best through regular spaced nutrition response testing and design clinical nutrition evaluations periodically over the next year or and beyond. Frequency is determined on an individual basis, anywhere from a monthly to quarterly to semi-annually to annually. Each individual is different. The most important thing you can understand is that to take on the responsibility of your own health, knowing once we are at point of maintenance, that means that you're coming in once a month at least. After all this is said and done, what you eat today becomes part of your body tomorrow. And the same is true for your family as well. So, do you have any questions with that?
No.
Okay. Most maintenance programs
Can you be a little louder?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'll get closer
Yes.
because I'm listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm listening and I'm reading too. Most maintenance programs require lesser amounts of nutritional supplements than we were needed in the early phases of your program to protect your investment in your health. Getting into a maintenance program will assist us to continue to assist your body to maintain a healthy improvement you have experienced to this point. Initial maintenance programs generally begin with a series of monthly visits, i.e. once per month for 4 to 6 months, and then, if appropriate, a wellness check every 3 to 4 months, etc., based on your body's needs. Our experience is that a health maintenance program designed specifically to meet your needs and updated regularly is the most effective way to protect rather than allowing your condition to return to its former reduced health condition which brought you to us in the first place. We are sure you can see the wisdom in this. Good health is the best health insurance there is. During this time, you might want to look at other health issues which might not have already been handled, including hair, nails, bones, weight, blood sugar or cholesterol levels, and other long-time health challenges. Food supplements like the basic 4 from Standard Process are often recommended. These nutritional supplements are designed for overall body maintenance and are made from only the best quality of raw materials. Then they give you some of this main